Welcome back. The holiday season, encompassing Christmas and New Year, is a time of joy, reflection, and diverse celebrations. And while Christmas centers on the birth of Jesus Christ, other traditions like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa also shine during this period. Families gather, exchange gifts, and partake in unique customs that reflect their cultural backgrounds. Leanne Cohen is of Jewish descent, and her tradition involves celebrating Hanukkah during the festive period. She now joins us here in studio to tell us all. Leanne, good evening and welcome.
Thank you for having me, Nina.
Thank you so much for being here. Just to start with, before we start speaking about how you celebrate this very precious time of year, tell us a bit about yourself, Leanne.
Okay, so I'm Leanne Cohen. I grew up in the UK, in Liverpool, in the Jewish community there. I came to Namibia in 2007, so I've been here for 17 years now, and my husband and child are both Namibian, and I'm a teacher at the Windhoek International School.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I want to talk about the Christmas season and, of course, how we celebrate it differently. So how do you personally view, the Christmas season within, a Jewish context?
Yeah, I think the one thing that must be said for everybody, no matter what your faith, is that this is a time when people have some time off work. And so it's an excuse to get together as a family. So no matter what the religion might be, everyone has time together with extended family, and I think that's really special. I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Are there any specific traditions, Leanne, that you or your family, observe during this time?
So we have Hanukkah, and Hanukkah is the festival of lights.
You pronounce it Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, with a cha, yes.
Like l'chaim.
Exactly.
Right.
L'chaim means to life when we make a toast.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So Hanukkah it changes the date each year because it goes according to the Hebrew calendar. But it's usually in December and somewhere around Christmas. This year, actually, for the first time since I can remember, actually starts on the evening of Christmas Day. So that's wonderful when that happens, and it coincides nicely. And it lasts for 8 days. So during that time, we have what's called a menorah, which is where we put little candles in each day, and there's space for 8 candles. So we light 1 on the first night, 2 on the second night, 3 on the third night, right up to 8 on the 8th night.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the symbolism of, the number 8 and the 8 days, the 8 candles, etc.?
So many years ago, there was wars going on between the Maccabees and the Greeks, and the Maccabees wanted to light the oil in the temple, and they needed a special type of oil that needed to be kosher. And they didn't have enough of this oil because of the war that had been going on. So they needed to send someone to get the oil. So they only had enough to last for 1 day. But by some miracle, they say, that came from God, it lasted for 8 days until the person came back with the fresh oil. So they call it the miracle of lights. And that's why we light candles right up to the 8th day, because that's how long this miracle lasted.
Yeah. How do you feel about, blending Christmas and Hanukkah celebrations, like, how some, communities would do it?
Yeah, we're a blended family ourselves. My husband grew up in the church and I grew up in the synagogue. So we have a small Christmas tree at home. We have a menorah at home. We show our son both sides of these things. And we focus more on the traditional aspects rather than the religious aspects. So for both festivals, we like the idea that no matter what religion you are, it's all based about being a good person and having good morals. And so the Bible stories, whether it's the New Testament, the Old Testament, it's all got stories that have good moral endings. So that's what we focus on. And we focus on the fact that we can celebrate having time together and loving each other.
The first of the 8 days starts on Christmas Eve, you said earlier, and it's the first time that this has happened. Christmas Day. So, and the first time this has happened in years. So what typically happens on day 1?
It always starts in the evening, because in the Jewish calendar, the new day starts in the evening and goes till the following evening. So as the sun goes down, when we see the 3rd star in the sky, that's when the new day starts. And that's when we light the first candle. So when we light the candle, we have a book called a Siddur, and that has all the prayers in it. And so we say a couple of prayers, which are in Hebrew. And then there's a couple of traditional songs that we sing that are also in Hebrew. So it's standing around with the family, around the candles and singing and praying.
Right.
Yeah.
And in terms of your feast, because you know the traditional Christmas feast, my gosh.
Well, we Jewish people know how to make feasts also. For all our festivals, we have certain foods that are very traditional to have during that time. So for Hanukkah, because it's the celebration of light, which was based on the oil, it's traditional to eat oily foods. So donuts, for example.
Right.
We eat a lot of donuts for those 8 days. So when we have celebrations on Christmas Day, when everyone's not working, we will maybe have a big turkey dinner, which is very traditional for Christmas, but we'll have donuts on the table as well.
Right.
And we'll have the menorah with the lights on the table as well. So it celebrates both together. Which is really special.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here this evening and teaching us something new today. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you so much, and well done with your pronunciation.
Thank you, Leanne.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back after this brief break. Stay with us.